Oh boy, how are we? It's another episode of the Josh Potter Show. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. And got to thank Christopher Smith sending this instrumental in, a different vibe than we're used to with the Griff Parker stuff, but that's what we like. We want so many different vibes. Send in your music, joshpottershow@gmail.com. And Christopher Smith actually also sent in a story that we will cover in the news, doing double duty this week, and on a holiday weekend no less. Pleased to be subscribing and liking and rating and reviewing wherever you happen to listen or watch this program. Make sure that you're doing all of those types of things because they go quite a long way and they don't take you very much time at all. This week, by the way, Thursday, tomorrow, I will be in Poughkeepsie, New York. Yes, tomorrow, if you're watching this on the day of the debut, June 1st, Poughkeepsie, New York, Laugh It Up Comedy Club. And then the subsequent days, June 2nd and 3rd, I will be in Saratoga Springs, New York at the Comedy Works. So please get tickets and come on out if you weren't already planning on it. Other than that, patreon.com/The Josh Potter Show. $5 a month, get on that. Just did our first Zoom hang. You know, trying to figure out more fun stuff to do on the Patreon. We'll get it going, though, pretty good soon here. Gonna bring Twitch back as well. I'm getting the Twitch itch, if you will. So that we're working on as well. I'm learning this thing called StreamYard. It's hard. I'm not good at technology, so I'm trying to learn things. Nevertheless, we're here. It's we're taping this on Memorial Day. We gotta say, respects for the fallen troops, but I want to give respects to my troops here. Kirsten, Rob, Alex coming in on Memorial Day. I didn't know it was Memorial Day till like Saturday, so I'm appreciative of you guys coming in. I don't know if you had picnics or something. People are commenting on my attire lately. They're saying, well, it's summertime. Why is Josh wearing beanies and hoodies? Well, it's like 58 degrees here in LA and cloudy. So, happy Memorial Day. I can't think of a Memorial Day. That's why I'm not in the zone yet, for picnics and whatnot. Do you guys miss out on a picnic? I'm sorry. I'll buy you a hot dog from 7-Eleven.
No, we have no family or friends.
Exactly.
You're our family and friends.
Exactly.
Same. We're it, folks. This is right Memorial Day picnic right here. But I get like FOMO around these holidays. I do, because I miss going to like barbecues. And I see the ones that are happening around here in LA, and I'm not having FOMO about missing out on those necessarily. I'm not going up to
There's probably one at the end of the street.
Well, not like that. You're talking at the other end of the spectrum than I was talking. I was talking about like pretty people in bathing suits. I'm like, I'm not going to a rooftop on a hotel to celebrate Memorial Day looking like I look. No, sir. They'll turn me right around at the door. I went to we thought when we got the hotel in Madrid that it was a hotel pool. So we're like, oh, cool, a hotel with a pool. That will be fun. And so we asked the front desk where the pool is for the hotel, and they say, oh, it's 2 blocks. And they told us this thing. It was like crazy distance in a different building entirely. Turns out they just gave you, with your room, access to like the Club Med or whatever it is, like a health club. And then you got to use the pool there. But they had like lines in the pool where people are like doing laps. It wasn't exactly one where I could have a frosty drink and just sit there. So when I got into the hot tub, thinking that was the way to go, a man came up to me and said, sir, you can't be in the hot tub. And I was like, why? And he goes, because you need to wear a hairnet and they don't make like full body hairnets. He basically was telling me I was too hairy to be in Europe.
You were hair shamed?
I was hair shamed. I was told I couldn't be in the hot tub because I have too much hair on my body.
I've never heard of that. I've seen many a hotel hot tubs with
This is not a hotel, though. That's the thing.
Oh,
it was
okay,
it was like a health club.
Right.
It was like a special. You had to have access. It's like where people were doing like kibitzes or whatever the hell those are called. I don't know if I just said a racial slur. I don't know what a kibitz is. I thought they were related to spas. They very well might not be.
Are you confusing schwitz
Maybe.
and a kibbutz?
Don't know. I mean, maybe.
I don't know what either of those are.
They
both sound slurry.
A kibbutz is like a Jewish, it's like a neighborhood where it's like a one community.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not what I was talking about. So a schwitz?
A schwitz is where you just go sweat in a sauna for a while.
Yeah, it's where people do that. There was a sauna, there was the pool, there was the hot tub, there was, a gym. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't your stereotypical hotel pool. But I don't want to go up to one of these fancy West Hollywood rooftops. And, I want to go up there and, shotgun a beer and have a hot dog. And they're going to go up there and they're going to be like, what in the hell is that hanging out here? So I'm trying to avoid that altogether, I can't
idiocy any longer.
So I had FOMO, I look back home and I want to go to my friend's house and do barbecues there and stuff like that. But then I just forget these holidays even. I know that's bad, right, for the troops. I'm sorry, I forgot. I forget about these. And then I'm like, this one is, what's the other one? There's a fall one and there's this one. There's Veterans Day and Memorial Day. But Labor Day is the one that people often confuse with Memorial Day. And I can't believe that's a holiday, Labor Day. That's just, we're talking about the in the 1900s.
It's the unions.
Not Antichrist, anarchists, right?
Well, celebrating the creations of the American Union and celebrating the worker.
God, look at Alex, how smart he is. I'm like, we're celebrating those anarchists who shot McKinley, right? Isn't it all related somehow?
If it is, that's news to me.
I thought the anarchist was a guy who worked in like a factory. The guy who shot McKinley was a guy who like worked in a factory and was like sick of it. He's like, my life's terrible, and so I'm going to shoot the president. I could have made all that up in my head, folks. I have no idea. I'm not a historian. I'm glad I just found out what Labor Day was, though. I just thought it was a day where clothes are on sale. But we did have many people write in about last week's episode because I kind of crapped all over Plenty of Fish a little bit. Just my experience, really, I gave. And I know a lot of others have that experience. I mean, go on Plenty of Fish. You tell me I'm wrong. Evidently, though, there were some people who saw at least the clip of the show and were not offended. I was waiting for some people to get upset. But they were saying, I've been married for quite a long time and I met my partner on Plenty of Fish. And I said, well, I need to hear this story. So email in. And I told each of the people that I at least interacted with to email me their story. Now, I have not read this. They could very well be very boring, but that's actually shocking in itself if they're boring and mundane and they, derive from Plenty of Fish. So here's an email from Sean. It says, hey, Josh, just commented on your most recent Insta post about the Plenty of Fish scammer, and you mentioned you wanted to hear my Plenty of Fish love story. Well, it may bore you. It's going to bore me? Oh, my God, from Plenty of Fish, just a boring love story? I'm shocked. Well, it may bore you because there isn't any fuckery of any sort. I don't know what that means. My wife and I are actually a success story. I was super cynical about online dating for the longest time. Well, yeah, because you were on Plenty of Fish and you're pulling in, you're sending out your reel and you're pulling in tires and license plates. No fish to be had in Plenty of Fish. But here you are. For the longest time, you were cynical. But at this point, I had just gotten out of a relationship and figure, what the hell? Maybe I'll meet someone cool. I put up an honest profile saying I was looking for a special someone to hopefully settle down with. Mind you, I was clueless about the hookup culture and craziness that was and is still in online dating apps. Within roughly 20-ish minutes of posting my profile, my now wife messaged me. There were some early bumps in the road that were completely my fault, but this November we are going to be celebrating 10 years married and 11 years together. We have an amazing almost 4-year-old daughter as well, so needless to say, I'm grateful for both Plenty of Fish and online dating. Aww. A 4-year-old that came out of Plenty of Fish? I wonder how many children are like going to grow up and be like, my parents met on Plenty of Fish. And they lived happily ever after. I mean, that's crazy. He did say that 20 minutes, by the way. That is like, it's like, are you a supermodel? Or are you just two hot people that met on Plenty of Fish? You're like, oh, thank God. I found another. I don't know. I forget what the man looked like. But that is a shocking story to me. I'm here almost speechless based off of that. I don't believe that will be the prominent statistic out of people who meet on Plenty of Fish. I don't know. When I go on there, I'm just like, it's not even swiping on Plenty of Fish. If I recall, it's been almost probably a decade since I even looked at Plenty of Fish. Can you pull up Plenty of Fish just like their homepage? I mean, I don't even. Of course they're going to show. I wish we could just go in and just see the bowels of it. Even Hinge does this, by the way. I was on Hinge for 2 weeks, and you get on there, and the first thing they do, they give you a bunch of good-looking people, and you go, all right, this isn't so bad. And then all of a sudden you're in the gutter, and you're like, who the hell are these people? Am I one of these people? Are they putting me in the gutter category? You start being self-conscious. Your confidence is dwindling based off of the people that Hinge thinks that you are linking up with. Plenty of Fish is more like, I thought, bloggy. It's like where you can just kind of like peruse anyone on the site and message them. You know, it's a little more, you're casting a wider net to keep going with the fish analogies, you know? Have you had any experience on Plenty of Fish back there?
I met my wife on OkCupid.
That one seems different, and that I can't believe you held that information until just now.
I also met my husband on Tinder. It'll be our
that
3 year tomorrow.
Crazy. I knew that one.
Tomorrow's
I
our
was
3
gonna
year.
bring that up, but I didn't know if you wanted to. 3
Yeah, no,
year
I'm
anniversary
good for it. Yeah.
on Tinder. See, Tinder isn't OkCupid is more like, I don't know. That one seems like speed dating or something organized, where Tinder is like, let's throw it around a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we were both on Tinder at the same time, but Tinder is not for finding a long-term partner, or at least it wasn't when I was on it.
Carson's gonna throw nucks
We'll
back
see.
there.
Oh, I'm not.
We'll see.
That doesn't mean that you can't find a long-term partner on. I just mean.
Well, clearly we're finding them on Plenty of Fish.
I never went the Plenty of Fish route. I never even saw
well,
the
Tinder
interface. And honestly, I was under a fake name when I met my husband. So
how many years ago did you meet on Tinder? Because you didn't.
So we actually met on Tinder in like 2016.
Okay.
We hung out for like a few weeks, and then we didn't talk for 2 years. And I think that's probably the secret.
That was probably when I got done with Tinder when I moved to LA. Like in Buffalo, it was fun for some reason because you're like, I kind of know that person.
Yeah, I think Tinder here in LA would probably just be like a fast track to murder.
Yeah, not for me, but for me, it's like, I don't know. I met a girl on there. I did go on one Tinder date in LA, and she wrote for that show, The Ranch. It's just completely like, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I'm in comedy as well. At the time, I wasn't nearly as in it as I am now. In 2017, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be opening up at the Irvine Improv. I'll be emceeing at the, like, she thought I was a loser. So she barely, I mean, the date was one of those ones where you both kind of realize 10 minutes in, this is going nowhere. So I got drunk, she ate nachos, and then we're like, hey, I guess we'll never talk to each other again. And that's how it went. And then I don't know why, but she came up on my Facebook recently where it was like, you might know this person. I think it's like, I have her number in my phone. The contacts, they fuck you. So yeah, I have her number in my phone. So it came up as like, do you know this person? And she had like a kid now. And I'm like, well, I guess that was more than 5, almost 6 years ago now at this point, 2023. Golly, I've been here a minute. But so you met in 2016 on Tinder. Mm-hmm. And see, I think like that was still that. Do you think Tinder's still kind of like hot right now?
I have no idea. I literally have no idea anything about the dating scene. I'm so glad I don't have to navigate it.
Well, Tinder is like, I think.
I'm not sure. I feel like I see more about Hinge.
Well, that's the thing. At one point, Tinder was like top tier, and then someone made Bumble. And then they made, Hinge and so on and so forth. And now Tinder's kind of gone the Plenty of Fish route in terms of like, people are like, Tinder? You're on that thing? Are you really scraping the barrel, huh? But you were at a time when it was still kind of like top notch. It was kind of innovative at the time.
Yeah, and I was also like a freshman in college. So it was really like, in a small college town.
So did you go on a date with many people on Tinder, or was this the only one?
No, I was actually under a fake name. I barely replied to people. I just wanted to know where house parties were at the time.
Oh my God.
My husband now at the time messaged me like 3 times. And on the 3rd attempt, he was like, this is just the last attempt. And if you don't reply, I'll just take it as like I got too weird. We hung out for like a couple weeks, and then we didn't talk for like 2 years. He joined the military, and we ended up meeting back up like in a really weird way in 2018, like on Facebook. And we were long distance until we got married.
Well, that doesn't seem like you met on Tinder then necessarily. Like you did.
We did.
But it kind of like, it wasn't because of the Tinder meeting that you furthered things along, right?
Kind of ish.
Because I was going to say, what did he say to you that you were
him.
like, oh my Lord, but clearly you ignored 3 messages almost.
He told me he would take me to a Mexican date. And
A
then
Mexican date?
Mexican food date. Sorry. He told me he would take me out to Mexican, and then he found out I had a food allergy and was like, "Why don't I just take you to my apartment instead?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." So
I like that tactic. Well, you have a food allergy? Why don't you just come over?
he didn't cook me shit until we got married.
That's hilarious.
But it was great. So
that's Iowa shit though. You want to go on a Mexican date?
oh yeah,
Yeah, because
sure.
that's like here. It's just like, do you want to go to dinner? And then it just probably will be, based off of odds and the type of restaurants that are around the greater Los Angeles area. It's either that or sushi. I really don't know what else you're gonna find. Sorry, I had to take a drink there. I'm like, my voice, I'm losing it. Oh, but we have another one. Believe it or not. 2 couples. This one from Nina. She's a lady. Like 2 scared salmon. She said, okay, so get this. I'm not trying to shame you, Nina, but it is funny. And I almost said it. It says, like 2 scared salmons. She pluralized like it's deers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to shame you. It's just funny when I see it. 2 scared salmons. The plural of salmon is salmon, correct?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Like 2 scared salmon swimming upstream through a disputed and polluted river. We met on Plenty of Fish and bonded over Donald Trump and butt sex. Ooh, boy. Now, that's kind of what I would imagine bonding over on Plenty of Fish. I don't know which way in which they're bonding over Donald Trump. Maybe they're bonding over hatred of him or love of him. I don't know. But butt sex and Donald Trump don't usually line up in terms of who is a fan of Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Those whom are fans of Donald Trump aren't fans of butt sex. Typically. Christians. Talking about the Christians. Right? And some of them are big fans of it because they're like, this is where you can put your penis and the Lord doesn't care. Talking about butt sex. But other ones, they're like, that's a sin. It's a hot topic in the Christian world. And therefore, I would assess that if you're a fan of Donald Trump, you're not a fan of butt sex, in fact. Me, I'm a fan of butt sex. So whatever, fucking politician wants to get on board with that, I'll sign right up. I don't give a fuck about any of these people. What are we looking at?
Sorry.
I'm sorry, my bad.
I saw August 2016. That's the same time that I was on
Lord,
Tinder.
What a time. It was August 2016, and the presidential election was underway. At the time, I thought Trump was a riot, and my future husband thought I was a nutcase. I think he genuinely enjoyed meeting someone that believed Trump could win. See, this is hilarious. This should be a sitcom. There was the woman who loved Trump and the guy who hated him, and they came together and they make sweet love in the butt, evidently. That's where I think this is going. It would be funny if that's what brought them together. They're like, I loved him, he hated him, but we both loved ass sex. So boy, oh boy, we overcame our differences. And what if that's the answer for all of us politically, to overcome our differences? Your neighbor likes the opposite party, fuck him in the butt. Now you guys are on the same level. I genuinely enjoyed mocking him and his left-leaning family out loud at both Thanksgiving and Christmas that year. Good God, Nina, you were a tramp to bring home. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's my nightmare. I bring home my favorite girl. Oh, I can't wait. And my family would probably agree with you, if you were coming to talk about Trump. But I've had this sort of like fear out of bringing like a liberal person home, even, where they're just like, my father says something mildly, and my father is a immigrant, by the way, from the country of Africa, but he's still mildly racist. He'll like throw things out there. He has a black wife. He doesn't care. He'll throw things out there. And I could imagine bringing a woman home who would not stand for that. Now, this is like out of a fucking movie, though, where it's like she's going home and she's like shitting on his left-leaning family at Thanksgiving and Christmas, just making the most epic, awkward fights. We were both broke single parents when we met in 2016, but since then, we have worked very hard and are now financially stable. That's very nice. We even added 2 more kids into the mix for a total of 4. We do still smell like fish, but thankfully the days of the polluted river are far behind us, big fan Nina. Well, she didn't tell us about the butt sex. I wanted to know how that came into play.
Well, they got 2 more kids, so I'm sure they switched.
Yeah. They would probably have 6 if they realized that sooner. Oh, wait a minute. Been blowing loads in your ass. What a wild, wild thing. Well, so Plenty of Fish brought the most arch nemeses together in that case. You know, what with the whole, I'm a Trump supporter, I'm not a Trump supporter. I can't believe that hasn't. I guess Roseanne tried to do that in a sitcom with Jackie and Roseanne, and then Roseanne said something about, I don't know, Jews or something on Twitter, and then the show went up in smoke. And that was the end of that. Or was it the black? I don't know what she said. I don't remember what Roseanne tweeted. And neither do you. Remember that. Well, before we get into the sports, we have some fun. I had a clip sent to me at joshpottershow@gmail.com more times almost. Not more probably, but comparable amount of times to the Glenward tapes. I mean, I love when these things happen. We'll get into it in a second, but first I want to say the Josh Potter Show today is brought to us by DoorDash. Right now, you could be reaching into the fridge, and you're reaching in and you get that one last beer. Oh, isn't that the worst feeling in the world? Not anymore. It used to be the worst feeling in the world for yours truly, because then I know, oh my God, I have to walk 2 blocks and buy more beer. Oh, how awful. Not any longer. No, sir. Right now, you can just DoorDash it, baby. With DoorDash grocery delivery, you can get what you want, when you need it. And that's including some adult beverages. With thousands of grocery stores to choose from, you can still shop with your favorite stores from the comfort of your home with easy substitutions right in the app. That way, if the guy, you know, or the lady, they can't find it or they don't have it or something, you want something that's, next door, they got it. Boom. They give you so many options. Best-in-class customer support, by the way, and it's never been easier. DoorDash isn't just for the midnight pizza craving or that morning hangover meal. When you choose DoorDash grocery delivery, you're giving yourself more time to spend with the things and the people that you love. I got to tell you, this has eliminated so much hassle in my life. Because I don't really grocery shop that often anyway, and it was a pain in my ass. I hate going to the grocery store. I never know what to get. So I like making a little list, and then I pop it on the thing, and they bring it right to my door. I take a nap while the other person is shopping. Then I tip them generously. Right now, you can get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to $10 value when you use code JoshPotter at checkout. Limited time offer. Terms apply. That's 50% off up to $10 on a $15 minimum subtotal and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code JoshPotter. Don't forget that's code JoshPotter for 50% off your first order with DoorDash. And the Josh Potter Show is also brought to us by Rocket Money. If you want to save money, this is the thing to do, my friend. It's so easy to sign up for a subscription. We forget about the subscriptions when we sign up. when I signed up for Rocket Money is when I learned how many subscriptions I aimlessly signed up for. Things that little bonus, little features. You don't know what these apps are doing out there. Rocket Money will find out for you, because next thing you know, you're signed up for a bazillion streaming services and subscription boxes for every day of the week, and you're paying for subscriptions you're not even using. Rocket Money's the thing to help. Rocket Money is personal finance app. It finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending, and it helps you lower your bills all in one place. It's so easy. You just got to hit that little cancel button on any subscription, and boom, you no longer have it on there anymore. They cancel it for you. You no longer have to use it. You're not paying for it anymore. I had little things like in photo apps, like, a little package here that was costing like $3.99 a year. I was like, I don't need this crap. I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Rocket Money is also automatically categorizing your expenses so you can see where your money is going in real time. It's an amazing way to budget and keep impulse spending at bay. Over 3 million people have used and loved the app so far, and the average user is saving up to $720 per year. So stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Potter. That's rocketmoney.com/Potter. rocketmoney.com/Potter. Beep, 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. Oh, the sports world is on fire. I mean, it's unfortunate that the Heat and Celtics Game 7 is happening basically as we are taping this episode. But nevertheless, I'm rooting for the Heat out of a spite bet that I made. A girl dumped me, and she was a fan of the Knicks, so I'm riding with the Heat the whole way. I bet them back then, and now I got him for the Celtics, and they're losing. I mean, we could see history. You know what happened now. You're watching me sitting here in flux, not knowing what happened. You know what happened. Maybe I won my money. Maybe I didn't. But this is the time where sports are kind of winding down and you're just getting into baseball. So accept it, folks. Accept it. Start watching baseball. And it seems like many Roaches out there are watching baseball because, like I said, the Glenward tape, I've never had a tape sent to me more than the Glenward tape. Until this one. This one kind of rivaled it. I was getting tagged. I was getting sent. First-time Roach reporters coming out of the woodwork, crawling out to send me this tape. Let's hear what it is.
We can't turn the we can't turn the clock back. I know it's after midnight. We can't turn the clock back.
All right. Well, partner, I don't know what he was trying to get to there. He was talking about, I think he was trying to make some sort of, well, we can't turn the clock back and get back to the sixth inning where they left many runners stranded on base. So here we are at the bottom of the whatever the hell. I don't know what he was trying to get to there, but evidently, I like how he goes, it's after midnight too there, partner. And I was like, the guy was talking about a black cock. I don't know. Play it again for me.
We can't turn the we can't turn the clock back. I know it's after midnight. We can't turn the clock back and turn it back into the mid-'80s.
Oh, that's it.
And put on a Whitey Herzog team.
Oh, so he's trying to make a joke about a Whitey Herzog team, and it's like, it's over, pal. You said black cock. That joke is done. Stop trying to salvage it. So we can't turn the black cock off. Black cock clock back to the 1980s, where Whitey Herzog would be here and right. And the other guy threw him under the bus.
He's like, oof.
The other guy goes, oh, what are you doing? Shut up. Remember Dallas Braden during the Glenward tape? Glenn was like, we went to the N-word museum. Dallas Braden just stared at the camera. And people were like, how can he just not react? That's what a professional does. This guy, listen to this guy again.
We can't turn the we can't turn the clock back. I know it's after. Can't turn the clock back.
And Whitey Herzog, and this guy's like, remember when you said, what was black? What was black there, partner? A cock? Meanwhile, we're staring at, I'm not sure what baseball player that is, but he has one of those, I'd imagine. Oh, it's Vanderbilt. It's a college game at that. So luckily for this announcing team, not many people were watching on ESPN here. Vanderbilt, though, it says the subtitles. Does it say it up in the subtitles, too? Or is that just on your YouTube?
No, it doesn't say.
We can't turn the, and it's blank.
Yeah. There's conveniently no subtitles for that part.
That's very funny. Well, speaking of black cocks, Charles Barkley. Yeah, he has one, but also he mentions he wants to sit on something. Very well could, I mean, these things relate. And Charles Barkley and Shaq, this is silly season for them. They're in the playoffs now. Mm-hmm. They see the finish line of the season, and they're always very funny, and they're saying wild shit all the time. But it's getting to the point where, like, Charles Barkley knows he's leaving this broadcast at some point. Because, by the way, every time he says something wild and funny, people try to, like, cancel him or get him fired or whatever. And that's not what we do here on this program. You know that. I know Glenn got fired, but that wasn't our goal when we played the tape. We just chronicle these things and observe them and laugh and make our little jokes. Never call for anyone getting fired. But Charles Barkley is sick of all the canceling, and he's not going to do this job very much longer. But thankfully, we get moments like this between him and Shaq. Let's see it.
It's one of my goals.
Oh, you need to be out there.
I would love to sit on top of the monster.
Yep, there you go.
Jeff Twist.
You would enjoy it.
I want to sit on the.
You've been to Fenway before,
I've
right?
never been to Fenway.
You've been to Fenway.
Can you pause it for a second? I'd love to sit on the monster. Now that's like he's talking about the big green monster in Boston for the Red Sox, and Shaq is like a 16-year-old child. He's like, he's laughing because he wants to sit on the monster, and he's like, the monster what, Chuck? Chuck talking about sitting on a monster dick. Now he's cracking up. He's going to laugh forever. And they're saying little things like, you'd enjoy it. Like, they love throwing in their little lines. I love it. Keep it going.
I've been to Fenway.
Stop.
Oh, man.
No, but I want to sit on I'll donate money to charity to sit on top of that monster.
As big a sports fan as you are, you need to have you been to Wrigley?
I have been to Wrigley quite a few
you need
times.
to go to Fenway, too. Okay.
I want to go to Fenway.
All right.
What? Just a viral moment waiting to happen, man. It's just a viral moment waiting to happen. What you want to say?
Shaq can't let it go. He can't let it go. What are you going to sit on, Chuck? I love it. Shaq's the man. I mean, he's hilarious. And so is Charles Barkley, because Charles Barkley, at this moment, usually he's the guy making the jokes or whatever. He doesn't realize what he said here. I don't think he even reacts in any sort of way. Keep going.
Stop it, man. Stop, Shaq.
Hey, Jenna, send us a tweet, Jenna.
We're on our way to Miami.
We're on our way to Miami. Turn it. You can kill it now. That was just so funny. Oh, my God. The monster. He's going to sit on the monster, and Shaq's like, Shaq's the kind of guy that if I hung out with him, I could make him laugh at just about anything, I think. You just say one little thing, and he's like, he's that guy. Okay, this last one, though, is an umpire. Now, we've had, in this playoffs, for the NBA and the NFL, we've had referee mic'd up situations. It's bleeding over to baseball here. These referees, they have mics on to relay their calls to the crowd. They get on a loudspeaker, and that gets picked up by the broadcast because then they're giving also the audience at home, some clarification on what occurred in the play. So let's hear this thing.
Now, home plate umpire C.B. Buckner had a really good
Miami's
look at
challenging the out call at home plate.
But the Marlins are going to challenge that.
They got their heads up their ass.
And obviously a crucial play in this ball game if it gets overturned, and they'll need the evidence to overturn that call.
I like how the announcer didn't say that. He goes, the umpire goes, Miami has chosen to challenge the out, and the umpire or the announcer goes, Miami is going to be challenging the out here, and then the umpire goes, they got their heads up their asses. It'd been funny if the announcer's like, and he claims they have the heads up their asses. Watch, play it again.
Now, home plate umpire C.B. Buckner had a really good look at it.
Miami's challenging the out call at home plate.
But the Marlins are going to challenge.
The Marlins
they got
are going
their
to
heads
challenge.
up their ass.
And they have their heads up their ass.
Obviously a crucial play in this ball game if it.
Oh, my Lord. So I don't know what he's referring to there. They got their heads up their ass. These umpires don't know how to work the loudspeakers. And so we've seen NFL refs. We've seen NHL refs do the same thing. I say mic them up even more. And that's what leagues like the XFL are doing. They're just having everyone mic'd up. They're having people mic'd up in the huddles. It's glorious. I say keep it going. But that's just some type of the sports that we get into here on the Josh Potter Show. So send in your stories, or if you come across anything the way that everyone did. I mean, with that first video, joshpottershow@gmail.com is where you can send it in. Oh boy, into the news we go, and we start things off here with an email. It says, Hail, Mighty Roach King. Once again, I'm sending you a newsworthy episode that took place in Italy in 1977. I like this because Paolo Morara, he likes to send in these old-timey Roach reportings, which I think is fun, a little blast from the past. I got to get a sound clip for when we go into the past, Let's do the time warp again, something like that. I don't know what it will be, but some little time machine, we'll figure it out. And then, maybe we go black and white or something. I don't know. I hit my vape pen here a couple minutes ago. Once again, I'm sending you newsworthy episode that took place in Italy in 1977. It involved a very famous Italian soccer team or player who died after getting shot by the owner of jewelry who he was trying to prank. Interesting. So this belonged in the sports. We went into the news. We brought into the news, I thought, because it was historic that it wasn't a sports story, but here we have it. Let's hear the article here. It says, on January 18th, 1977, Lazio star Luciano Resiconi, I don't know, God bless me if I figured that one out. They paid a fatal price when his and a troublesome teammate Piero Geddon's robbery prank on a jewelry shop went disastrously wrong. This is the problem with pranks, folks. The people that love pranks, they're evil sorts. They want to make... I mean, everyone talks about, like... I saw Eric Andre in an interview recently, and he was talking about working with Johnny Knoxville. And Johnny Knoxville just does pranks on Eric Andre all the time. You know? Just every day in the shoot. I would fucking kill you, Johnny Knoxville. After day 3, I'm like, I have to murder Johnny Knoxville. That's just what I have to do. I cannot stand pranks. And people who like pranks will get you, hey, get in on the prank with me. They're going to get you in trouble. You're going to get in trouble out there. Look what happened to these folks. Ready? Ciccone was a key member of Lazio's historic 1974 Scudetto winning side, who went down in folklore for playing some of the best attacking football Italy's top flight had ever seen. However, I have trouble with all the foreign names, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. Even Italian. I mean, these guys are so Italian. Can't they just be named like Anthony or some shit? I mean, for Christ's sake. However, Tommaso Mastrelli's men also gained the reputation off the field for their practical jokes and extreme right-wing political sympathies. And that's the thing, folks. Pranks and right-wing sympathies go hand in hand. Just the most evil of sorts. No. Several players were known for carrying guns on them whenever they went, and even firing them off for no reason. Well, that doesn't seem like a prank, really, at the end of the day. That just seems reckless. It created a divide between them and other disapproving players in the dressing room. Yeah, I'd imagine it would. Ciccone was generally considered a calming influence in the squad, but Italy's very own Paul Gascoigne became notorious for carrying out pranks and wind-ups behind the scenes. And on a harrowing winter's evening in January of 1977, Leangelo Biondo, the Blonde Angel, went one practical joke too far when he made his way to a jeweler's in Rome owned by Bruno Tabocicini with Gadan. God damn, I mean, you don't have any, like, Tonys, for fuck's sake, in this story? Ray Ciccone and Gadin were regarded by most as troublesome duo who never failed to conjure up mischief when in each other's company, and it was no different when they visited Tabocini's shop. As they approached the jewelers, the pair decided to hang back while their friend entered the store as part of their latest joke. The door then opened and both players sparked into life, sprinting into the shop and reportedly shouting, "Hands in the air, this is a stick-up." Hilarious! What a prank. We're going to act like we're robbing them. And when they act like we're robbing them, we're going to be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Is that how they talk? Mm-hmm. They were covering their faces with their jackets. Oh, boy, like a robber would? Hilarious. Waka waka. Yet when Riccocchio and Gardine, I don't even know these fuckers' names anymore, they were unaware at the time, was the fact that Tabocini's shop had been raided by burglars just a few weeks earlier. Oh, you mean so he wasn't taken kindly to the whole fucking prank? Oh, weird. He was suitably prepared for another potential break-in. When the jeweler pulled out a shotgun, Gadin quickly raised his hands in an attempt to defuse the situation, but Ciccone failed to realize and continued with the prank. Tabocini therefore opened fire and shot the midfielder in the chest from close range. See, I don't have any sympathy for this guy. You do your dumb prank, yeah, you're going to get shot in the fucking chest, idiot. It killed him. 30 minutes after the incident, despite being rushed to the hospital. Ciccone died at age 28 and left behind his wife and 2 children. Aw, well, don't do fucking dumb, jokey pranks. Don't do the prank if you have a children. Talking your language. As he lay on the floor dying, it is believed that his last words were, "It's a joke, it's just a joke." Well, isn't that fitting? Your last words were, "It's a prank." Ooh. That's the problem with these fucking Dennis the Menaces out there. They do their little pranks, and then they're like, "Oh, what? I'm just joking. I'm just joking around." Tabocini was arrested but never charged or convicted of murder. Remains one of the most unusual deaths in Italian football history. Well, I would hope so. I'd hope that was unusual and that, God, pranksters, this is the thing. They deserve it. They deserve it.
But it did make me think of something.
What's that?
I brought something.
I'm not even going to look over there. Don't pull out the roach. Oh, my God. It's in.
I caught it.
Oh, my God. It's alive?
It's very much alive still. It's trying to, it's pretending it's dead, but it is alive. Oh, he's moving.
Why is he in a jar? I don't like
It's our
that.
mascot.
Ugh.
Should we pose with him?
I mean, sure.
Oh, is he his tentacle?
Oh, God. I can't believe it's here.
We were all very upset, Josh. You're not alone.
I'm shaking a little bit. My
None of
adrenaline
us
is
were happy with
going.
this.
Why? Because you pulled a prank on me?
Well, it's not a prank because it's real.
Now, if I was Tabuccini in the story, I would just smash it.
No, you just shoot me.
I just, yeah.
A prank would be putting the jar up here empty after you guys know that there was a cockroach in here.
Correct, yes.
There were 2. There is 1 now.
Why were there 2? Oh, I see.
I don't
The
know.
prank.
Can't abide such idiocy.
The other thing I'm learning is I am gullible. All right, can we move it? Put him at least over there.
Juan, do you want to see what he looked like on the way here?
No.
Look at him all buckled up.
You took a picture of? Oh, you buckled him in a seatbelt? That's cute. It actually is kind of cute at the end of the day.
His body will be disposed of 15 or more miles away from this.
With the jar, right?
Yeah. He's going in the
that's
jar.
his. What you're looking at is the
He's gonna
roach's
take a
casket. Really, at the end of the day.
Just kidding.
No, the problem is I am gullible. That is another thing that I'm learning about myself. My buddy Hormos, comedian at the Comedy Store, very funny guy. He always is making jokes like where they're not real. You know what I'm saying? Where they're just like, he'll just say something and I'll go, really? Is that true? And he's like, no. I'm always falling for it every fucking time. I'm just so fucking, I don't know, I believe everything everyone says.
You're too pure, Josh.
I'm not pure.
You're a pure soul.
And let it be known, it's not a prank because the cockroach is very much real.
All right, I can't have him in my eyesight. Can literally be anywhere else. No, that's funny though that you brought him and you transported him so long. How did you catch him?
With the jar and a lot of courage.
How long did it take you?
Not very long, actually. I waited till Ryan got to the news studio for backup. I wasn't going to tackle
So Ryan
it
Sickler,
alone.
who just got out of his deathbed, was...
He was going to bare hand touch it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can come over and get rid of that corpse that's in my closet.
Well, I was going to say, you could also, if you want, you could take this one home and just see if it will, like, die with the other one in your closet.
No. See, I think the other one's body is keeping the other ones away. You know, they're like, oh, look what happened to that guy. Let's not go in there. Because I haven't seen any other ones. And I had traps, too. And there's none in the traps.
Would you feel better if we named him?
The corpse one or this one?
This one right here.
I don't think so. We're going to kill it. I don't want to name it. You know what I'm saying? They're shaking their head while they're doing both directions differently.
We're saying the same thing. Don't name it.
I don't want to name it. But thank you for bringing him.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Speaking of pranksters, I saw this Roger Waters. That guy's a real hilarious prankster. He's wearing Nazi uniforms on stage these days, evidently. This came in from Caleb. It says, hey, Roachmaster and crew. Caleb here. Not usually a Roach reporter, but I saw this story while scrolling the news and thought it was perfect for the show. It's about old Pink Floyd, Roger Waters. Now, I'm not a Pink Floyd guy necessarily. I like weed. I like mushrooms. I like drugs. I was more of a Led Zeppelin sort, you know? I guess if you're going to... I don't even know if people would put them on opposite ends of the spectrum. It's a little both bands before my time. Let's face it, I'm more of a Slipknot kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? I listen to Stained. I don't listen to Pink Floyd or anything else. But I might be able to get on board. I don't know. Police are investigating former Pink Floyd bassist Roger Waters after he wore what appeared to be a Nazi SS uniform on stage during a concert in Germany. This was all the news and all the rage over the weekend. And when he came out and said was that he was doing it ironically. And he was actually making an anti-fascist statement. So when I hear that, I go, this is the thing about these bands. Back in the day, the hippies and the leftists and all these people, they used to go like, yeah, you know, we're this is edgy and blah, blah, blah. And it was the conservative people that would get all like, oh, and they'd clutch their pearls about a man wearing a Nazi uniform. I want to say Bowie wore a Nazi uniform, right? They're looking back in their revisionist history. Well, it wasn't necessarily a Nazi uniform. It had tones of, right? Wasn't he wearing like a fucking, what does that say?
I found something about him giving a Nazi salute at some point.
A salute. Oh, okay. Well, either way. I thought he was wearing like, I don't know. In My Chemical Romance, wears some like, ones where you go, oh, who made that? Hugo Boss? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true.
I often look at the jackets of My Chemical Romance. I go, oh, that jacket's pretty dope. And then I go, is that kind of Nazi-ish? I don't know. But this is an all out and out SS uniform. He was wearing it like a costume. But I can't imagine this is the first time, a band and that is of the edgy rock sort did this, I mean, I want to even say like Rammstein. I can't think of whom might have, had some sort of Nazi tones in their imagery or in their outfits or something. But this isn't the first time that it's happened, is my point. And usually everyone's like, oh, weird, cool, and like whatever. It's like, oh, it's edgy, it's this, that. And it was the like religious people who would get upset. Now it's flip-flopped. Now it's like, all of a sudden, there's conservative people who are like, sick. And you're like, well, that's weird. I don't know if I like that sound, And then you got people that are supposedly like artistic and liberal or whatever, and they're like, I don't get it. He should be arrested. It's kind of crazy. Performing in Berlin on May 17th, Waters wore a long black overcoat with a red armband. He also aimed an imitation machine gun into the audience. Well, that's kind of crazy. That's fun, though. I mean, this is all fun. It's a concert. Another brick in the wall. And he's throwing, spraying a machine gun. That's kind of fun. Germany bans displaying Nazi symbols, but the country's laws allow for exceptions for artistic and educational reasons. I got to perform in Germany back in 2019, and I did tell a Hitler joke, which was kind of fun. I mean, I was a little like, ooh, what are they going to do? And they laughed.
What was the joke, Josh?
I'm not going to tell you the fucking joke. It might still be in my act. You don't know. Waters said his performance was clearly to show opposition to fascism. Following the concert at Berlin's Mercedes-Benz Arena, German police spokesman Martin Hallweg said, we are investigating on suspicion of incitement to public hatred because of the clothing worn on stage could be used to glorify or justify Nazi rule, thereby disturbing the public peace. Yeah, I wonder if he did this in like Arkansas, would it be such an issue? But, it was in Berlin where they do get a little stuffy when you bring up that time, especially now because there's like people trying to like bring back the and not so like quiet, by the way. In Germany, they're trying to bring the Nazis back, and they're like, pretty into the Nazi stuff. So they're maybe that's why it's a little more sensitive at this point. The clothing resembles the clothing of an SS officer. Waters' jacket included the red armband with two black crossed hammers on a white circle, an outfit that has worn at previous shows dating back to several years. In one scene, Geldof plays a rock star hallucinating that he is leading a fascist rally. That's again, we're just on drugs, folks. Imagine taking mushrooms and then all of a sudden Roger Waters is doing Nazi stuff. That's going to break your brain in half. You wanted a trip. Oh, boy. Police authorities have said that once the allegations have been reviewed, the matter will be passed on to the public prosecutor who will decide how to proceed. I wonder if he's going to proceed doing this. The names on the screen included Anne Frank, the Jewish teenager who died in a Nazi concentration camp during World War II. Israel's foreign ministry later criticized the musician on social media. Well, Roger Waters and Israel don't really get along either, so that probably has something to do with it, I would imagine. He's been outspoken against both Israel and China. So maybe that has a little something to do with it at the end of the day. Well, thank you for sending that in, Caleb. I'd like to know if he continues wearing Nazi stuff. Let's keep an eye out. Eye on Roger Waters. Will he be wearing Nazi stuff throughout his tour? They got the lights, they got the names on the screen. He's probably got to commit You know, how much is it going to cost to change it? And it's weird that no one else has complained if he has been doing this the whole time. It's the first we're hearing of it because it's in Berlin. Who knows? Next up, speaking of China and Berlin and things and Nazis, well, you know, we're getting digital IDs very soon in our phone. And I don't have a license, so I'm not sure exactly how I would go about this. Maybe I have to get my passport will go in my phone. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to start putting your IDs in your phone, folks. Your driver's license is not the right place, by the way, for a spicy selfie, evidently, because people are forgetting where they are when they're taking their own driver's license photos. Now, when you go to the DMV or you go to the post office to take your passport photo, you go there as you would go anywhere else. Maybe you're not dressed to the nines, but you are dressed nevertheless. When you are taking a photo in your home, sometimes you are not dressed. And for some people with a low IQ, they forget that they are not dressed and they are taking selfies shirtless.
Why are they taking like full body pictures for a driver's license or an ID though?
Well, I don't know that they are full body. I'm assuming it's just
if done
the
correctly,
tops,
you
right?
should be able to be completely naked and no one should know.
Yeah, you can be bottomless for sure, but they would know if you're topless, right? Like, because you're going to see your shoulders.
Like just here up though. Maybe.
I think your shoulders are in it, right? Or like maybe the top part of your chest. It says here, Georgia Department of Driver Services took to Facebook Tuesday to remind drivers. That's where they got to go, by the way, to tell the idiots, the people with low IQ. They go, you know what? Just blast it on Facebook. That's where all those R words are. They're all hanging out on Facebook. So they blasted on Facebook Tuesday to remind drivers to keep their clothes on while taking photos for a digital driver's license or ID. Please take pictures with your clothes on when submitting them for your digital driver's license and IDs, wrote the department. Cheers to technology and keeping things classy, they added. Oh boy, sounds like a real fucking Facebook post. Georgia residents can use digital driver's license or ID in their Apple Wallet or on an iPhone or Apple Watch, according to the department's website. The digital IDs can speed up the process at select TSA checkpoints. The digital document does not serve as a replacement for a physical ID, the website advised. I'm not sure what that really means. That's just some bullshit, like covering their ass kind of thing. So if you stole someone's fucking phone and you have their ID on it, they can still ask you for yet another one. What's that?
No, it's just
Are you laughing at my scenario?
Yeah, I was just thinking this.
No, my name is Muhammad something or other. Several people responded to the Facebook post asking if it was a joke or if it was really happening. The department responded with memes suggesting it was a real issue. The department did not immediately respond for a request or comment from CNN. Now, maybe it's not really happening, and this was just a way to like raise awareness of these digital IDs. Do you think that's a hoax?
I personally think you should take them naked, because if you're doing it right, it should only be like neck up.
I think bottomless.
Yeah.
Can be like, I found a loophole.
Let your
I
tits
got a
out.
shirt on. I would love to be able to, like, if I work at TSA, I get a photo full of tits over here. I'm looking at it and I go, we're going to need to see, you know how they're like lower your mask during COVID so they could see your face?
It might make them happier.
Lower your shirt, please, so I can identify these tits. Thank you.
Now watch this drive.
I just came from the airport last night, and like TSA is never pleasant. Maybe if they got a couple nude IDs.
They'd be a little more, well, how are you?
Yeah, come through that metal detector.
Kirsten, come right on through. Let's see what we got here. All right. But what about dudes? We got to like take down the pants. I mean, that's the thing. Like they showed a picture of a guy like sitting shirtless with his laptop to in the story, like this is like a stock photo, by the way. Who had to shoot this? That guy's got some nipples on him. Can we show this? Is this going to get us flagged?
No, if it's a Georgia ID,
This guy's got some cans on him. Holy hell. But yeah, I mean, so people are just probably taking it. I remember I was doing, because for weed delivery out here in California, recreational weed delivery, every now and then when you sign up for a new site, you have to upload your ID. And I remember I was like, shit. So I'm like uploading my ID, and then you have to like take a selfie with your ID so that they can, there's some different, protocols for these websites. And I remember I was doing all this shit, and I actually like was about to take a selfie with my ID without a shirt on because I was just like at home doing it. I'm like, oh fuck, now I gotta go get a shirt. I was so used to doing those cameos where I had my shirt off for so long. Well, by the way, we have a bit of a follow-up from a story from a couple of weeks ago. This sent in by Ashley McCullum over at joshpottershow@gmail.com. It's about the Arby's freezer. And I think it was with Jeremiah? I can't remember who was on the program when we discussed the dead body in the freezer. But it was, you remember, we had a woman discovering a body in a freezer at a Louisiana Arby's near Rob's hometown. The family of the Louisiana Arby's manager who froze to death in a walk-in freezer is now suing the fast food giant over claims that employees had complained the latch was broken on the door. Oh my God, this is darker than I ever would have imagined. The employees were like, hey, that freezer door latch is broken, and we're having trouble getting out. Because you notice in these freezers, if you ever worked in one of these places with these freezers, they usually have that like plunger thing that you can push to get out. That will, so you can't die in it, and get stuck in there.
Yeah, that right there, actually.
Yes, exactly. And that's usually the fail-safe to get out. Sometimes there's another thing, too, that's like even more of an emergency, like, let me out of here thing. It's like... because they are refrigerators, I'd imagine. You remember, like, back in the day when you used to have to take I think you still do. You have to take the door off your fridge if you're putting it outside by the garbage because little kids will crawl into it or get stuck. The door will close and then they're, like, trapped in the fridge. You can't open a fridge from the inside. It seems like you just push it and it would open. But evidently, the ones with the latches back in the day were the real problem, right?
Yeah.
But why are people still taking them off now that the fridges are, like, lightweight? They just suction to it or whatever.
Why not?
It's just like one of those things. It's like a Tesla. We're still putting the pump into the thing even though there's no gas going into it. We're just used to this sort of motion. Interesting. But we
still do this for phone call.
That's
right?
true. We do. Well, I mean, you still talk on the phone with this.
You don't hold the thing like that.
Yeah, but like kids do this.
Kids do this.
Kids do this, though, I heard.
Yeah, and this.
Oh, my God. That's funny. Well, these are giant fridges. So I guess they need to have the, with the latches, so they need to have the thing on the inside, obviously. And you can't just push it open. So I'm not going to give this name a shot. Let's just say it's a very Asian name. It was this person, 63 years old, was alone in the restaurant around 9 a.m. on May 11th, preparing for the store's opening when she became trapped inside the food cooler. Her son, who also works at the Arby's, made the horrifying discovery. Oh, my Lord, that is a layer to the story that they did not mention last time around. So I used to work at a fast food restaurant with my mom, and there were times I would have liked to have shoved her into the freezer and then discovered it, myself. But that would have been terrible. That's awful. The New Iberia police said that there were no bloodstains on the doors, there were bloodstains, on the doors, which showed that she was trying to escape. Oh, my Lord, what could she have been doing to try and escape? Bashing herself into it, perhaps? Eventually, she collapsed into the fetal position. A preliminary report from the coroner's office confirmed the mother of 4 died of hypothermia. Oh, my Lord. That is awful. How cold? I mean, this must have been the real cold one. Because I'm trying to think, like, if you're stuck in there for 12 hours, oh, my God, and you don't have your phone, you left your phone on the desk. Whew, I'm having, like...
You have to die around a bunch of frozen meats.
Oh, my God. I'm having, like, I don't even know what it's called. Like, I'm having like a fucking moment right here of panic. Attorney Paul Skrabanek, who is representing the family, is calling for a formal investigation of the restaurant's alleged freezer malfunctions. A former employee told him that the latch on the cooler was not working properly since August, and that the problem was known and ignored by management. He said the family is suing in part because his inquiries to Arby's would have gone unanswered. The family is seeking more than $1 million in damages. Just $1 million? This is like a Dr. Evil moment. Go hard. They've got the meats at Arby's. Sue them big time. This should be at least $10 million. $1 million? This is like, this lawyer needs to like Paul, you out there, buddy? $10 million at the very least. $1 million, that's like nothing. What are we talking about? A former male employee who did not want to be identified told KATC News that multiple work orders were submitted to fix the broken latch. He had also taken photos inside the freezer from prior complaints. They've known about it. Workers have complained. It is unclear what the temperature was the day that she was trapped inside and the length of time that she was fighting to survive. The freezer is supposed to be at negative 10 degrees by Arby's standards. Well, that's by Arby's standards. I'm sure it was then a balmy 6, probably. You know? I'm just going to guess that. As per the former employee, but said the temperature is kept lower than that. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. And she was alone in the restaurant? Like, that's the thing. Like, I'd be like, where's so-and-so? Why don't we check the freezer just to be... I would check it. I believe she got stuck in the freezer door and no one was there to help her out, he said. According to the lawsuit, employees were using a screwdriver to help open and close the latch to the walk-in cooler, as per a former Arby's employee. The suit also alleges that employees were in the habit of propping open the door with a box of oil because they didn't want it to close all the way. The woman who worked as a general manager with Arby's in Houston, Skrabanek, was asked by the franchise's corporate office to go to the New Iberia to help run that location. Oh, so she actually worked in Houston, and she went there to run that. So she's like a regional manager that went there to go. Damn. Yeah.
She's not even supposed to be there, and she was almost at the end of her assignment.
God. She had been near the end of her temporary assignment after being there for nearly a month to 6 weeks. Fuck you, Arby's.
Imagine they have to make that announcement, but in the voice of the guy who does the commercials.
We have a corpse.
Ugh.
Arby's.
Extra meat we can't use.
Oh, and then they got to get rid of all that meat. I mean, a dead... Do they? I mean,
actually,
I'd hope that they would. A dead body was in there with it. How long? That's crazy how long... Because I would think, like, okay, say they close at 11 p.m. They open at 10 a.m. Could you last that long? It is so monstrously cold. Negative 10 degrees is not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like the lettuce part of the cooler, perhaps. But this was like the deep one.
Yeah.
Whoa. This is the one where there's like ice on the walls and shit like that. Oh, my God. I would have tried to break it. I don't know. Is there a mechanism in there where I could have like smashed and made it so it broke or something so it wouldn't conduct any more cooling? I don't know what I would have done. They found blood. So she was like...
Yeah, it said from beating her hands against the door.
Oh, Jesus Lord. It's the darkest story ever. And
Guys, don't support Arby's.
It's an art... Yeah, we're... I don't call for the boycott of many things. But how about we get our 5 for 5 beef and cheddars elsewhere for a couple of months? Until they fix some latches on these freezers. I mean, good golly. Oh, boy. Let's continue. Let's try to raise up the morale here, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Divorced women are a package deal. Now, this is what I like to hear. This is what I would... this is... All this did was make me want to inquire more, by the way, when I tell you this story. 2 best friends who live together, both divorced, both ladies, say that any prospective man that they date needs to be aware that the 2 women come as a package deal. Sounds pretty dope to me. Best friends Marissa Baker, 31, and Patty Kulak, 28, moved in together after splitting from their partners. And, God, these ladies are young, too. Back in 2021. The pair have said that they are platonic soulmates. Oh, we'll see about that. We will see about that. They also claim that they are often mistaken for a couple with people constantly, asking if they're in a relationship with each other because they get along so well. The friends moved in together in Naples, Florida back in May of 2021. They say they go on friendship dates, work out together, and do household chores together. Well, get ready to suck a dick together, ladies, because I'm coming to Naples. Is that the one of them?
That's both of them.
Wait a minute. Where's the other one? Oh, I see back there. No, that's all right. I saw one big head. They're cute. Guess what? I've never been a Mormon or whatever, but I'll do some polygamy. I don't give a shit. If we can legally, tie all the knots, dot the I's, all whatever, I'll take both of you. I don't give a shit. You know, who wants Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Which one's the Tuesday, Thursday bitch, huh? Weekends, you know, whatever happens, happens. Baker told SWNS in an interview that they are like wives and that they tell potential dates that they come as a package, to which the dates say, sick. Who's saying no to this? Kulak, who works in local government planning, told SWNS, dating is so interesting. What were you going to say? Nothing?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you.
She said that since the women are always together, prospective male dates begin to realize that this is not just a roommate situation. And then they go like this. Like, what did we talk? They're like, oh, boy, this is not a roommate situation. They're, like, into each other. Oh, boo-hoo, weird. Like, who's angry about this? Kulak, who, oh, no, she said that since the women are always together, prospective male, yes, okay, this isn't a roommate situation. Added Kulak of Baker, she is not just my best friend. Every decision I make involving a man that I am dating, I will be running by her first. Sounds fine. She also said, when there are men involved, they like to know what this relationship is because they don't understand it. Who are these idiot men trying to understand it? Just enjoy it, you fucking idiot. She said it's more than just having a best friend. It's about a partnership here. The two women told SWNS that they met back in January 1st of 2021 at Baker's birthday party. Between January of that year and May 2021. By the way, that is a short amount of time, and I can see this blowing up into smoke at some point. Both women separated from their significant others around that time as well. That spring, the women decided to share an apartment together. Baker said that she and her best friend have the freedom to be ourselves. She added, we have fun together, we laugh together, I can be weird, I am messy at times, there is nobody judging me or criticizing me. She also said that that they navigate the dating field now. They understand that their extremely close friendship is very unconventional. The women told SWNS that they each explained to any dates, hey, we are a package deal. The pair revealed that what works so well for them is that they are both into positivity and personal development. Ew, who cares? I physically retched there.
That's what's turning you off from
that part freaked me out. No, you're not. Kulak said, I love when I come home. This is my safe space. When I turn onto my street now, I'm like, oh my gosh. I want to speed home and tell Marissa all about my day because I get to be my authentic version of myself. That makes me sad that you think like you couldn't be the authentic version of yourself until you met this other lady. She added, there is no judgment. You show up and you show up as you are and you are heard in this space even when you're angry. Both these women had terrible husbands. That's sad. She also noted, I get to voice the frustration. We address whatever needs to be addressed and move on. She is my partner and she wants me to be happy. Baker, for her part, said, environment makes a difference. And who you show up as is different depending on... This is all a bunch of horror. Do they fuck together or not?
Who went to the news outlet and was like, have I got a story for you?
Them.
Oh, they did.
Them.
And that's the other
Can
thing.
I tell you where this ends up? In a Dateline episode.
I mean...
You're the man who'd be like, hell yeah, I love these women.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're found in a suitcase under an overpass somewhere.
No.
I could see it happening.
No, these are women who like are like, I don't know. Let's see if there's any. That's the thing. I'm looking for some grandiose like conclusion here, and there really isn't one. Baker also said that when she was married, she was drinking every night, binge eating, overworking, and distracting herself. Now she said, I don't overwork. I have really great boundaries. We do self-care. We put time into things we are passionate about. Ugh. Golly.
I don't care about that. Not a fig.
See, I think if you get in here, this turns into a love triangle. One of these girls loves the other girl a little too much. Other one thinks it's platonic. Baby starts to like you too much. One or two people are ending up dead.
I would never give a shit enough about that's the thing when you do two of these, when they're like, we're a package deal. I'm like, well, all right, well then you get 50% and you get 50%. That is of both love, attention, everything, pretty much split 50-50. So if they're into each other, I go, sounds good, have fun, do your thing. You need the other one? Fine. That's like, there are guys that get jealous of like girls and their best friends. They're like, you're spending so much time with your friends. Guys have said that. I'm like, what are you, a fucking chick? Like, what are you talking about? She's with her friends all the time. Good. Enjoy that fact. Be happy she has friends. These two sound like they never had friends before. They sound like they were married to husbands who are like that, where they're like, stop hanging out with your dumb friends. And then they just were like, yes, sir. And then they didn't. And now they're like out of the oppression that was that marriage. And they've found each other. And they're both like in a very codependent situation. That's my assessment of things. But boy, oh boy, if only they had sex with each other and were inviting a third, that would make it ideal. Then it would be like, I'll buy you two a fucking house. I don't give a shit. We'll do the whole, I'll be like Bill Paxton in Big Love. I'll get a house across the street if you want. I don't give a fuck. I'll have 2 wives. That'd be fun. 2's better than 0. So well, why don't we round things out with this story from C. Riley. A man in Louisville, Kentucky is facing an assault charge after shooting his roommate. See, this is where things could go. But these are dudes. He shot his roommate, by the way, in the ass. Hilarious place to shoot someone. Is that the shooter or the shootee? He looks like he's got something in his ass.
I think he is the shooter because of the mugshot. He seems pretty happy about it, though.
When you hear about a person who has a roommate, you just pray it's not a man as old as this. You know, I had a roommate till I was 36 years old, and I was like, it's gotta stop. I have to not have a roommate. I don't care if I'm living under a bridge. I can't have a roommate anymore. And this man looks very much older than that, and he has one. But he shot his roommate in the ass during a fight about eating their last Hot Pocket. Oh, things are grim for these two folks. Hot Pockets, if you don't know, come 2 in a pack. Can we get the price point on a Hot Pocket box? They weren't not cheap, by the way. There was a time when I was budgeting. Now, I don't like food, as many people know. And I know that's a wild statement to make. People probably just drove off the road. But I'm not going to get into it today. But, you know, when I was grocery shopping, I used to pride myself on the fact that I could live off of 2 weeks of food for $25. And basically it was like my own little personal game show. And I remember Hot Pockets, you know, there's 2 of them in a box. And that doesn't necessarily, like, one Hot Pocket, you're like, am I still hungry? You could maybe eat a second one right away sometimes if you're very hungry. And that right there is like, I'm going to guess that they are $8 for a box. Is that cheap? Was I even wrong? Or did you look it up?
No, yeah, you're way off. It says $3 for a box of 2. So we got like
$3?
$1.50 for a Hot Pocket.
I thought it was very much more than that. Is that just like the basic Hot Pocket? Give me a broccoli cheddar.
Pizza.
Give me a broccoli cheddar chicken one.
Okay.
Let's check the price. I mean, I'm not going to say it's jumping up $5 here, but I thought, like, what about a croissant? Remember the croissant pockets? Are those still a thing?
Oh, this?
Yeah, the fancy ones.
Also 2-pack for $3.
Huh. I remember them being expensive for some reason.
Hot Pockets
a little outpriced. So,
episode?
Nah. I'd rather the Roach be brought in every week for the rest of our lives than have a Hot Pocket, really. I used to get the broccoli cheddar chicken one. That used to be my go-to. But $3 for 2, I guess that's not so bad. I really thought that they were much more expensive. Even more alarming that they are so cheap, and a man shot another man over it here. Let's get into the story from C. Riley. Continue on here. It must have been boiling over. There must be other contributing factors to shooting your roommate, aside from him eating the last Hot Pocket. Clifton Williams got angry Saturday. That's the man I believe we were looking at his picture a couple of moments ago, Clifton Williams. He got angry Saturday and began throwing tiles at his roommate. Throwing tiles. After the roommate ate the last Hot Pocket, the victim told police, according to the court citation. The roommate said that he tried to fight back before telling Williams he was leaving. As the roommate was leaving, Mr. Williams went inside the residence and got a gun. The victim told investigators. Williams then shot his roommate in the ass while he was trying to leave, according to the citation. The roommate went a few blocks away to get help. CNN reached out to an attorney for Williams. Williams is being held at a $7,500 bond, according to the court documents, and a spokesperson for the Jefferson Circuit Court clerk His next court appearance is scheduled for Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. The incident is one of the most recent examples of a disagreement escalating to gun violence in a country with more civilian gun. Okay, well, we don't need a gun statement from the fucking journalist here. I mean, Jesus Christ. Earlier this month, a Sonic Drive-In employee was allegedly shot and killed by a 12-year-old boy during an argument with another man in the restaurant's parking lot. Well, that's neither here nor there. This man, I can't believe more of this shit didn't happen during pandemic. Like, clearly these two gentlemen lived together during pandemic. Their living situation wasn't better during pandemic, you know? So, can we show the guy again? Clifton Williams?
Yeah, he doesn't look too upset.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I shot him. He's probably psyched that he's in a solo cell in jail. He's like, I don't have to have a roommate in here. This is great. 3 squares a day.
Gotta get him a jail hot pocket.
Don't bring me that $7,500 bond, please. Yeah, get him a jail hot pocket. Danny Brown probably knows how to make one of those. I should ask him. I'm going to see him soon. I'm going to ask him about, because they used to make all kinds of crazy jail food.
Yeah, I remember him talking about the burrito. Smashing it up with like Slim Jims inside of a chip bag and running it under hot water.
See, this is the thing about food. I see people on TikTok. They're like making hot dogs and wrapping them in like stuff and putting Doritos on their like hot dogs. Do you know what I mean? So it's basically like people are making jail food in regular life.
Do you know that there's like Americans facing felonies because of a TikTok and fruit roll-ups trend? People are trying to smuggle fruit roll-ups into Egypt. Or into Israel. Egypt.
What?
Yeah.
Why is that a felony?
Because I don't know. I don't know why it's
Are
a
they
felony,
not,
but I
like,
know that they
kosher?
were caught. I don't know.
Did we have that other? Speaking of TikTok
it was like
trends,
thousands of pounds.
I don't know if I sent it in time.
End.
Is it at the end? Because
Yeah.
there is a TikTok trend going on right now that I just came across. Because somebody actually, a friend of mine, I don't see it anywhere.
It's in there. TikTok challenge puts Kia owners at risk.
Yes, there it is. Oh, I see it. It was closer.
Here
to the
it
beginning.
is.
I got it right here.
Just real quick with the fruit roll-ups there.
Yeah, I want to.
The Americans were smuggling 375 pounds of fruit roll-ups into Israel.
And why is that an issue?
I don't know why it's an issue, but
Are they
they're
not
doing it because there's a trend on TikTok where they wrap it around ice cream, and so it makes it hard.
Ew.
And I guess you just can't get fruit roll-ups there.
Maybe fruit roll-ups are not kosher because isn't fruit roll-ups technically like the hooves and the tongues and it's basically what hot dogs are, because isn't it just all the nonsense that they make the gelatin out of? That shit's not made out of fruit. It's made out of it's made out of like calves.
But a 50-cent roll-up here can go for about $6 in Israel.
That's interesting. I'm curious about that. Why they would be illegal. Although it's just like bringing in 350 pounds of anything probably is illegal. But yes, TikTok, they're making these challenges and kids are getting killed and also arrested, it seems. Because we have here the TikTok challenge that puts Kia owners at risk. I used to drive a Kia when I drove. Shittiest car I ever owned. I think they've gotten better. This was back in 2002. I had a Kia Sorento, I think it was called. And boy, oh boy, was it it was like driving a lawnmower. I mean, this thing, I would have hoped I was actually hoping people would steal it. I would leave it running outside of stores, praying that someone would I'd come out of the store and it'd be gone. But here in New York City, it's stepping up the warnings to Kia and Hyundai owners. And I know this is happening back in Buffalo, too, because I know some people who have been trying to hide their Kias in a garage, asking people if they can use their garage until the Kia challenge is over. It's really getting crazy out there. It's a social media trend that can put some of the vehicles at risk for theft. As we continue to decrease crime and move crime in the right direction, we don't need aggravating factors such as what we are seeing on social media challenges of this magnitude, said the New York City mayor. It's been identified by some as the Kia challenge and exploits a design vulnerability in some Kia and Hyundai cars, which allows the ignition to be bypassed using a USB cable. Oh my lord. Do we have an example? Can you see if we can find one of these? Not that I want to show. I don't know. Are they banned from TikTok? Is that going to get us in trouble? I just was thinking if they had one exampled in the story. Is that it? No. The video shows viewers exactly how to crack open the steering column and start the cars up without using a key. Yeah, but you know, I guess they could break the window and get in and do it that way. The trend has become so widespread, the NYPD has been posting warnings on social media. So far this year, more than 300 Kias and Hyundais have been stolen in the city, an increase of nearly 500% over the last year. Isn't it funny? There's probably like some genuine car thieves out there who are like, what the fuck? TikTok's blowing up my spot now. Now every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to come steal a Kia. He's like, they're finding out our tricks. This guy's got a mask on. The masks, by the way, it's so funny. Now when I see a person with a mask, I'm like, for a second I go, I wonder if they are very scared still and they'll just wear a mask for the rest of their lives, or are they a criminal who's using the mask as an excuse? I always wonder that when I see it. So people are using the USB cables to steal Kias. Well, if only they could do that with like Ferraris. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate that it's such a shitty car and so easy to steal. I mean, by golly. People steal the Kias and they're like, I'm going to put it back. I don't even really want this at the end of the day. I thought that was interesting, though. If you have a Kia out there, folks, do write in joshpottershow@gmail.com. Let me know how shitty it is. Let me know how your day's going. Let me know if you have any roach reportings. Let me know anything you want out there, folks. joshpottershow@gmail.com. Ooh, there you go. TikTok teaching thieves. First at 5. TikTok teaching thieves. How is your car at risk? Now this guy's just showing this broad how to steal a Kia. Isn't it funny because they're putting it on the news, showing exactly how it's happening, and they're basically just making it worse. They're like, here's how to do it for all the boomers now. Well, folks, thank you so much again for joining us for another episode of the Josh Potter Show. Thank you to the crew here, Alex, Rob, and Kirsten, for coming in on Memorial Day. Thank you to Dennis the Roach here.
Dennis.
Yeah. We'll see you later, dog. I want to thank all our Roach reporters, some first-timers out there. A lot of people sending in that clip we kicked off the show with. So keep it coming, baby. joshpottershow@gmail.com. Other than that, make sure you come on out. Poughkeepsie, New York. Laugh It Up Comedy Club, June 1st. That's tomorrow night if you're watching this on the day it comes out. June 2nd and 3rd, Saratoga Springs, New York, over at The Comedy Works. Tickets can be found up on my Instagram at Josh_Potter or on my Twitter at J_Potter. Keep rating, reviewing, subscribing, liking, all of the stuff. It goes a long way. And I appreciate you a great deal. Other than that, folks, we will see you next week right here on The Josh Potter Show.